Stay tuned for the following special presentation from KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM. KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas, welcomes you to this edition of Hoop Talk, live from the KOFO studios at Pizza Time in downtown Ottawa. Hoop Talk is our weekly chat with Ottawa University head basketball coaches Aaron Siebenthal and Bruce Tate, and it's brought to you by Ottawa Family Physicians, Pizza Time, Ottawa University, and State Farm agent Keith King. You're invited to join us during the show for food and drink specials and your chance to win a free large pizza from Pizza Time. Now, let's join your host for KOFO's Hoop Talk, Bob Johnson.
Welcome into the program. It is time for the Pizza Time Hoop Talk show on the Mothership, 1220 a.m., also on 103.7 FM, KOFO, and KOFO.com. It's that time, except just a day earlier because of another three-day work week for the Braves basketball team game-wise, but every day is a work day when it comes to practice and school and everything else for the players on both the men's and women's team. The ladies and then the men both tripped up last night in games against Tabor on the road, and as is a custom, we always like to welcome in first the men's head basketball coach, Aaron Siebenthal, to the program. Coach, welcome in.
Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
Happy to have you here. It's a little frigid night, but I thought I'd warm it up with the Hawaiian shirt here tonight. So
yeah, it's very festive meets camo, so it's interesting.
Well, we do what we can. I like to be as interesting as possible, which is very rare. The men's team went on the road. They've had some impressive victories here of late, especially last Saturday with a last-second comeback, hitting a big three-pointer at the end. Seemed to have played pretty well last night, but just kind of ran out of steam. What was the difference last night?
We haven't been very good defensively. Really, much of the second semester we haven't been good. We've covered it up with being talented offensively and hitting some late shots, but we haven't been really solid defensively. It's hard to kind of put your finger on why that is. We haven't really changed a whole lot of what we're doing, and I think the effort is there. So I think it's just a focus on what our defensive schemes and our philosophies are, and really holding our guys accountable to those ideals.
Well, it's always a game of adjustments when you take a look at things, and obviously Tabor made some changes from the first time that you guys met each other. You made changes to play them the second time. So how much of it was maybe some adjustments coming into the game, and how much of it was just players not executing?
The adjustment for Tabor was that they were going to make 17 threes this game. They didn't do that last game. I mean, and the bottom line is you give them credit for making shots, but we, like I said, we just weren't sharp defensively. They got in the lane as much as they wanted, and then when you do that, you have to draw other defenders, and they just can pick their poison. They can kick it out to various guys, and they, like I said, they hit 17 threes. So give them credit for putting it in the basket, but we get a lot of accountability there for giving them some pretty good looks.
Is there anything that you can do at this point in the season to sharpen up defensively?
Yeah, we just have to keep repping it in practice and making it a priority, and if guys aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing defensively as far as our schemes and our strategy, then they're probably going to get taken out of the game and just reminded, hey, this is the way we're doing things. And so it's not a punishment, but there's just a few things defensively that are just non-negotiables for us that our guys got to, really have a priority of doing those things. And if they'll do that, and we did it pretty well in practice this afternoon, if they'll do those things, we're a pretty good team. But if we just try and outscore everybody, oftentimes, you can't go do that on the road. I mean, we missed a bunch of free throws, we missed a bunch of layups, and still only lost by 4. Our offense isn't the problem. We've got to be able to slow some teams down.
What is it with your defensive philosophy that maybe they're having issues catching up with?
Our basic philosophy is we don't let the ball into the middle of the paint. We try and force the ball to the baseline. And so if you see a guy get beat to the middle, then they're not doing their job. And so if we'll get the ball to the baseline, then we've got the weak side help can come if they're beat. And we work on that all the time. The thing that we don't work on is if you get beat middle, what do you do then? Because we just can't get beat middle. We just got to be better there. So it starts with guarding the ball better. It starts with guarding the strong side better, not coming off on the strong side. The help's got to come from the weak side. So it's just, like I said, the effort is there. So if the effort wasn't there, we'd have a problem. The effort is there. We just got to fine-tune things.
You brought up the three-point shooting percentage of Tabor last night. Some nights are just going to be better than others from shooting behind the arc. Was that something that their intent was coming in and trying to dial it downtown, or was it just available?
No, they're not a very big team, and they don't shoot a lot of threes necessarily compared to other teams. They shoot a normal amount. It's just when you get into the lane and the defense collapse on the guy with the ball, then there's lots of options, and so we want to get them forced to the baseline so they don't have those options. So I mean, they beat Bethel the game before on the road, and both teams shot it awfully. So I don't think that their whole plan is to jack threes. I think their plan is to try and break teams down and see if they can't get to the rim. If they can't, kick it to the next guy and see what he can get done. So, I don't think it was a game plan of theirs to jack a bunch of threes. I think they just took the shots that our bad defense gave them, and they made them.
You brought up, only to lose by 3 points. That's considering you look at that 3-point shooting percentage. Tabor had some opportunities down the stretch to try to hit some free throws, and they didn't connect. As a matter of fact, just 36% from the free throw line, and only got to the line 11 times in that ball game. There are positives that you can take from that.
Yeah, like I said, offense is not our problem. We can score. I guess I don't know if you want me to take credit for our free throw defense, but we did a lot of good things in that game. We've got to make defense our priority. We've got to get back to our basics of guarding the ball. So a lot of good things came out of that game, and I think the best thing that came out of the game is for us to sit down and we watched all the film yesterday as a team. We watched the whole game. We don't usually watch entire games like that. I think it was good for our guys they kind of coach each other up. I didn't do a lot of talking. They did a lot of the talking, and they recognize where we went wrong and how we can be better. And I think that showed in practice today, and hopefully it'll carry over into the game tomorrow.
You mentioned that you don't regularly watch a whole game film, but in other film watching situations, do you have team members kind of step up and do a little coaching at the same time?
Sometimes. Typically what we do is, we pull out clips of good stuff, bad stuff, and the good is obviously why it's good, and the bad is obviously why it's bad, and then obviously we watch the teams. We scout our opponents, and we pull that out. So we'll always watch our own film. We'll always watch our opponent's film, but it's usually pulled out in clips. It's snippets rather than an entire game. So most of the time that's coach led, but I thought it was more important that the players take ownership and call themselves out. Hey, here's what I did wrong, and here's what I'm going to do better. And it was very constructive, and it was very positive, and it was very businesslike, and I appreciated that from our guys.
Would there have been a concern if none of that took place?
Maybe, but I know with this group it's going to take place. These guys want it. They have ownership. We have good leadership. They like each other. There's not any selfishness. So there was never a doubt in my mind that wasn't going to happen. Maybe in years past that might be a thing, but this group's a fun group. They enjoy it, and I think they have the big picture in mind of what's important in life, and basketball is very important to us, but it's not the end-all be-all, and I think we got a good head on our shoulders collectively, and we want to win and play hard, but at the end of the day, it's a game and it's fun, and we want to keep it fun. So,
as you talked about with knowing about the offense is not the problem, but you just can't get into a game of trying to outscore the other team. Is it easy for today's basketball player to maybe get lost in the fact that they need to be a little bit stronger defensively and worry more about just trying to outscore the opponent?
No, I don't think so. I think that's the coaching staff's job is to prioritize what's important to us, and we do nothing but defense for the first 3-4 days of practice every year. And we do very simple fundamental defensive drills, something every day. So it's something we always focus on. It's not we want to play fast. We want to score a lot of points, and we're okay if teams make good, tough shots on us or something like that. It's just when we're allowing teams to have we want teams to have options. We want them to go to certain places where we know we can rotate, and we can force them into a tough shot. If they make that tough shot, hey, let's get it out. Let's go the other way and see if we can't score again. We want to play in the 80s, 90s, and 100s. We want to play there. we just got to play a little bit of defense. We don't got to play a lot. We don't got to be a great defensive team. We just have to be a good defensive team because we have the potential to always be a good and great offensive team.
You mentioned that the players did a lot of their own coaching. You had a good practice session. Is it just something of, hey, we need to just remind you guys, hey, this is what we got to be doing, and hopefully that takes care of it, or is there still a little bit of concern?
I mean, I don't know if concerns are the right word. I mean, I think it's just a priority, and so, you know, if something on the offensive end isn't going, you want to work on it. If something, you know, I mean, there's always something to work on. There's only so many hours in the day, especially when it comes to practice time. So I don't know if concern's the right word. I just think it's got to be a priority. It's got to be something we talk about. It's got to be our focus, because if we'll focus our energy and our effort on the defensive end, good things are going to happen on the offensive end. And so we've got to set the bar high defensively, and then, like I said, offense is going to take care of itself.
And with that being said, we saw it in the game on Saturday, and I know in the second half, during the broadcast, I had mentioned from about the 15 to 10 minute mark was going to be a huge part of that ball game for OU to get back, and you guys took the lead. You guys were able to hold on to it, but then hit that about roughly 5 minute mark, and all of a sudden, get Bethany's right back into it, and then you go down the stretch. Is there obviously defense is a big part of closing out games. Does that weigh on the team? Is there any, maybe they're putting too much pressure on themselves?
I don't think so. I think if anything, as a coaching staff, we need to do a better job of playing some of our top guys a few less minutes, and I say that all the time. I tell my coaches all the time, hey, we got to get Isaiah out more. He's playing too many minutes, especially with all these games back to back, and but it's really hard to put a guy who's averaging 22 points and 10 rebounds. It's really hard to see him sitting on the bench, but it's for his benefit. It's for our team's benefit, because he can't play as hard as he needs to play, playing 37, 38 minutes a game, and I think he can playing 32 to 34 minutes a game. So we've got, Kyle Patrick is his backup, and Kyle does a good job when he's in there. So it's not a concern of, hey, he doesn't have a suitable backup. It's just he's our best player, and we need him out there as much as we can. But same thing with Ryan Haskins is playing a lot of minutes, and it's hard to have a guy who can just get it going from three with the drop of a hat. It's hard to have those guys on the bench, but it's, again, we need to get our guys a little bit fresher and for that run, that stretch run at the end of games. But I don't know if it's pressure, or I just think that I think we're viewed, because of some of our players and some of the success we've had, I think we're viewed as one of the better teams. So I think, man, teams are always going to be fired up to play Ottawa. They just always are, and that's, the other night when we lost to Tabor, man, that's a really good program historically. They're having a down year this year, but really good program historically, and they celebrated like they just won conference after they beat us, and it was at their place. So I take that as a compliment. Coach Ratzlaff does a great job, and I take that as a compliment when teams get that excited to beat us, and they get excited to play us. And so I think we're a challenge to a lot of teams, and we're going to get every team's best shot, and we just got to respond, and I think we have for the most part.
We're going to take our first break of the evening right here. We're going to come back. We'll talk about tomorrow night's matchup. Also, games on Saturday, and then we'll talk, or not on Saturday, excuse me. It's a bye week. That's right. So just on Thursday, and then it's a bye week on the Saturday. So I'm so used to the 3 days. But anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that when we come back. You're listening to the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO and KOFO.com.
2019 is going to be an exciting year, and Pizza Time has made a resolution to continue serving Ottawa as we have since 1985. This is Arlie, and I encourage you to come in and see me at 208 South Main for our award-winning pizza and lunch buffet. Open every day from 11 to 10 p.m. We are proud members of our hometown community in historic downtown Ottawa. Or call 785-242-TIME to place a delivery order. Don't forget to add us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a wonderful new year, and thank you for choosing Pizza Time.
I came here to run cross country, and it ended up being way different than I thought it was going to be. It's unlike anything I've ever been a part of to be on the team. Everyone is so completely different. There are people you never thought you'd be friends with, nothing like your outside friends, but somehow you all click to be the same and have the same interests, but yet completely different. Everyone's always there for you. It's not just about running. Friendships and families like they're your siblings when you're away from home. That's what it means to be a part of the Braves cross country and track team, to be a family.
Be a Brave. Visit ottawa.edu.
You've seen the bumper stickers. You know, like I brake for garage sales, I brake for dolphins, or I brake for aliens. If your State Farm agent had a bumper sticker, it would probably say I brake for auto insurance. Because your agent's always ready to stop and listen to you, so you get the coverage you need to help life go right. That's why people have trusted State Farm with their auto insurance for more than 90 years. So next time you have a break, let's talk.
This is State Farm Agent Keith King in Ottawa. Call me today at 785-242-9435.
If being healthy is a resolution for you in the new year, see your doctor before exercise and diet plans are implemented. Ottawa Family Physicians advise if it's been a while since you've last exercised and dieted or have conditions you're being treated for like asthma, diabetes, arthritis, or other concerns, it's best to consult with your family physician about the best plan for you. Start healthy in the new year. Schedule an appointment today at Ottawa Family Physicians. Call 242-1620.
This week, you'll find great deals at Walgreens. Now, 12-pack Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, 3 for $10 or $5.99 each with card. Limit 3, 50-ounce Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, $1.99 with card. Get great deals on the essentials you need right here at your neighborhood Walgreens. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. While supplies last, restrictions and exclusions apply. See store for details.
Indeed knows finding the right hire takes time away from your business.
Hiring a qualified data engineer felt like a second job.
More job seekers use Indeed than any other site, so there's no better place to find someone with the skills you're looking for.
I needed someone with a master's in computer science and database experience.
Plus, Indeed screener questions help you find your shortlist fast.
Now I'm back to having just one job.
Get a $50 credit to give your first job posting premium placement at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, quality standards, and usage limits apply. Additional terms online.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why aren't more things in life customizable? Like, why do I have to pay a full gym membership when I don't even use all the equipment? Like the rowing machine. I don't know about you, but I'm not doing a ton of manual lake travel these days.
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, equal housing insurer.
We're back here, live at Pizza Time until the top of the hour. You can always call in 785-242-1220, and you could ask a question to Coach Siebes or Coach Tate, or if you're here at Pizza Time, you can come up and ask it in person. And if you do, could win a pizza at the end of the night. So there's plenty of reasons to do that. So we're here till 8 o'clock, and we get ready to talk about games tomorrow night. Ottawa, even though with the loss last night, still in fourth place, has that fourth seed right now for the KCAC tournament coming up at the end of February. But a big stretch of games here, and starting tomorrow night, Sterling, they've had their struggles this year. You guys were able to beat them out there, 80-78. But in a sense, you're kind of playing for a home playoff game, really here on out. And after Sterling, you've got Kansas Wesleyan just under a week away, who is right behind you. So some big games coming up for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. We talked in our film session yesterday. It's one of the things we talked about. I mean, we have when you walk in our locker room, we have a standings board, and you can see everybody from 1 to 13 in our league, their league and overall records and where we stand. So, I think it's important for our guys to know where we're at, and we're realistically trying to finish third or fourth. I think that's the realistic goal. I mean, you could mathematically, anything's still possible, up or down, obviously, and so for us to set a realistic short-term goal, 3rd and 4th is what we're fighting for, which obviously gets us a home playoff game in the first round, and that's important to us to be in Wilson Fieldhouse. So, and that's why every game's important, no matter who you're playing, whether they're above you or below you in the standings. We've got to try and stay up there with the top teams, and we've got to try and maybe get a little bit of separation from the teams that are below us.
Well, especially with some games coming up. We mentioned Sterling having their struggles this year. You still have York. You've still got, Bethel's in the top 8. Yeah, number 7 right now coming up. So you've still got some teams that are below you that are, I don't want to say must win, but really it is must win.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, every game is, to this point, when you only have eight games left, I mean, every game's important. It's not about who you're playing. It's about it's a conference game, and you got to win. So, Sterling is obviously came off a huge win that beat McPherson by 30 points, scored over 100 points. And, when you play some of these teams that are kind of fighting for their lives as far as getting into the tournament, they're going to play hard, but they're kind of playing loose and just don't have a whole lot to lose, So they're just swinging it around everywhere. They're driving it hard. They're shooting threes. I mean, they're just kind of letting it fly, playing a lot of guys. So I mean, it's they don't. They know they're underdog, and they're kind of relishing that role. And those teams are dangerous.
What is going to be different in this matchup tomorrow night from the one back in December?
Kind of how they're playing. Like I said, they're playing really loose. They are shooting it. I mean, if you got a decent look, they're letting it fly. They're playing a ton of guys. They're still going to mix up their defenses, play some man, play some zone. They're doing a little bit of three-quarter court press, but they really are just kind of 1 or 2 passes and jacking shots and letting it fly. And like I said, they just don't have the pressure. They don't have the expectations, and so I think it's they're just kind of playing loose and free and having fun with it again. It looks like.
Well, this would also be a good time to pack the field house once again, and really try to take advantage of that home court advantage. We saw that over the weekend. I'd like to think that did play a role in the game with Bethany, crowd getting into it and really help bring some energy to your guys to help them come away with the victory.
For sure. We've had great crowds. Got a great group of boosters, spearheaded by none other than Jesse Stoltz, Luke Queen, Kyle Thurman, Keith King, Kirby Self. Great guys. Jesse probably is not as good as the rest of them, but good dudes. We've had great crowds, great student sections. We got the band back in there, so it was really loud. Wilson Fieldhouse, when we got that many people there, it's a tough place to play. It's loud as heck, and it's a great home atmosphere, and that's why we're really trying to get 3rd or 4th place so we can finish at the top there.
And it all starts on Thursday night. Now this is, let me make sure I get the times correct here. It is the usual 6 and 8. The ladies will play at 6. The men follow at 8. You'll hear them here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO. Also on KOFO.com. And Casey Weeder will have the call in, starting with pregame at 5:45. Any messages I should give to Casey, pass along to him?
I appreciate Casey moving his equipment so I can put my clipboard and my water down on the table where he's at. That's big time. I appreciate Casey's video and audio clips of some of our highlights that he puts out. I appreciate that. And most of all, I appreciate that every once in a while he has to work with you, and I'm sure his back is sore from carrying you, but he does a great job.
And I thought that the Twitter thing was, you set me up.
I said we would put aside our differences for a brief period of time, and that time has come to an end.
Well, all right, that's fine. I see how it is, and the truce is over. The truce is over. Well, Coach, good luck with it tomorrow night, and hopefully you guys bring back a victory, and we'll talk again next week on our actual Thursday.
Let's do it, Bob.
All right, that is head coach Aaron Siebenthal joining us here, having to get in one last gut punch before he gets off the air, but that's okay. We've got plenty of more opportunities to share the love and still a hug or two. We'll take a break. When we come back, we will talk with head coach Bruce Tate, as we'll talk some Lady Braves basketball. A rough night for Ottawa University last night, and they look to try to get back on the positive side of the ledger tomorrow night. And we'll talk with head coach Bruce Tate about it when we come back. You're listening to the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show on 1220 and 103.7 FM, KOFO and KOFO.com.
What it means to be an OU Brave is to be yourself. What I've learned here is I've created memories with friends, and I was actually really comfortable being in my own skin here. Everybody has their own personality, and we're all unique here, just trying to live significant lives. And I think I'm going to leave here with an imprint that will last forever and that I can hold on to and look back at and laugh at and see that I not only learned something, but I created friendships and memories that will always stick with me. That's what it means to be brave, to be yourself.
Be a brave. Visit ottawa.edu.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
This is State Farm Agent Keith King in Ottawa. Call me today at 785-242-9435.
2019 is going to be an exciting year, and Pizza Time has made a resolution to continue serving Ottawa as we have since 1985. This is Arlie, and I encourage you to come in and see me at 208 South Main for our award-winning pizza and lunch buffet, open every day from 11 to 10 p.m. We are proud members of our hometown community in historic downtown Ottawa, or call 785-242-TIME to place a delivery order. Don't forget to add us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a wonderful new year, and thank you for choosing Pizza Time.
Indeed knows it's hard to find qualified candidates when you're hiring.
It's like finding a unicorn.
But when you post your job on Indeed, it's easy to find people with the skills you need.
Nurse practitioner, 4+ years experience, acute care certification.
Indeed has a huge pool of amazing candidates and screener tools that help you find your most qualified applicants.
Whoa, an entire short list of unicorns.
Now, get a $50 credit to give your first job posting premium placement at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, quality standards, and usage limits apply. Additional terms online.
This week, you'll find great deals at Walgreens. Now, 12-pack Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, 3 for $10 or $5.99 each with card. Limit 3, 50-ounce Arm & Hammer laundry detergent, $1.99 with card. Get great deals on the essentials you need right here at your neighborhood Walgreens. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. While supplies last, restrictions and exclusions apply. See store for details.
Didn't get what you really wanted over the holidays? Give yourself what you've always wanted from Stitch Fix. With Stitch Fix, you get new, updated wardrobe pieces hand-picked by a personal stylist and delivered right to your door. Now you don't have to leave the house to shop for clothes. And you'll be so well-dressed, everyone will notice. It's so easy. Just visit StitchFix.com/Nash. At Stitch Fix, we listen to your unique styling needs. Just take a style quiz based on your preferences that meet your style, your budget, and your body. Then Stitch Fix matches you with a personal stylist who picks clothes, shoes, and accessories you'll love. Just pay a small styling fee. Get a box with items to try on. Only pay for what you like, and the styling fee is applied to what you decide to keep. Keep all the items and you'll get 25% off your entire purchase. Select when you want your next order. No subscription costs, no shipping costs, no stress. Go to StitchFix.com/Nash. You'll never have to shop for clothes again. Try it today at StitchFix.com/Nash.
Pros in the know start with Lowe's, because at Lowe's, pros save big on the brands they trust. Now you can get 5% off on select A.O. Smith water heaters when you buy 3 or more of the same model. Then get SharkBite Evo PEX connectors to get it done fast and ensure a proper connection every time. Plus, save 5% on eligible purchases every day when you use your Lowe's Business Credit account. Stop by the Pro Desk to speak to a dedicated Pro associate today. So, Pro, now that you know, start with Lowe's. While supplies last, credit offer subject to credit approval. Can't be combined with other credit offers. Exclusions apply, U.S. only.
Back here at Pizza Time. Now with my favorite Braves basketball head coach. He is your favorite, too. Missy's favorite, who is down here, the lovely Mrs. Tate. And everyone's favorite head coach, Bruce Tate. Bruce, welcome into the program.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Do you find my Twitter handle weird?
It's different.
That's the whole. I mean, that's
it's
that's
supposed to be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Memorable.
Exactly. You want to maybe sit down. You have your your book of Bruce that we've talked about on the program, and other. Maybe sit down with Coach Siebes and say, hey, it's okay to be different.
It's okay to be different.
You know, I mean, I'm just throwing that out there, right? But if the ladies have had a couple of rough games here, lost 3 in a row, a tough one to Bethany last Saturday, and I didn't want to seem like a broken record, but during the broadcast with Casey, one of the things that I talked about was consistency with officiating, and it didn't seem like that there was a lot of consistency in that ball game, and I think that may have played into the ladies struggling down the stretch.
Yeah, there was. I would agree. There was some different calls throughout that game, and there was definitely some inconsistencies, and I did go back and watch that game. Fairly quickly, and which I got to watch it on demand, which I got to listen in to you and Casey, and you guys definitely disagreed with some calls, and going back and watching it, on a few definitely it was tough to swallow, not only live but also during watching the film too as well. We could have done a lot of things better, but there were definitely some big calls that changed the momentum of the game.
Was there any concern, because the ladies got out to such a hot start in that ball game, that maybe they threw everything out there early on and just kind of ran out of gas? Besides, that's just putting the officiating calls aside.
You would always love to get on a good start as a coach and as a team, and I just think that Bethany, you got to take their hat off. They got more aggressive. During that stretch where we got stuck on 14 for a very long time. We didn't, take some good looks. We didn't get to the free throw line. We could have done a lot better, within that stretch to kind of stop the bleeding, and we didn't. So the biggest play during that stretch was we had some rotations defensively. New people came in. We weren't matched up on Mueller. And she gets loose for a 3, and then she gets going. And, that's just her forte. And once she got that shot down, she got a little bit more confidence because she didn't score that much against us last time. So she felt that she had the, open Pandora's box and took advantage of it for sure.
Well, and really when you take a look at the stats there, if it wasn't for her going off, this game really isn't that close.
Absolutely. And she's the key to their team, and just like any team, has key players, but she was definitely the heart of that, and she scored at the 3-point line, she scored at the rim, and at will. So it's one of those things where, that we did do a great job of reacting to that situation for sure.
And then last night on the road against the 17th ranked Tabor Blue Jays, and they were as advertised. They came out, started out really quick in the first quarter. You guys were kind of chipping away, fighting back in the second, and then it kind of started to get away in the third, and then in the fourth. Not a lot of scoring, so it was more of a defensive game there. But really when it came down to it, Tabor hitting on offense, and unfortunately the Braves not.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to take your hats off to Tabor, too, as well. They knew what they had to do. They knew they had to put us away early. You can't let a team like us hang around, get confidence for sure. With the young team, you gotta kind of put their foot on their throat and kind of close the door. And we guarded them extremely well throughout their possessions, but they are so efficient and so experienced that when they got looks, they knocked them down. And that just kind of broke our backs because I thought we were working very hard defensively, being active on ball screens. We do our game plan there, but the deeper they got into the shot clock, they just shot the ball with a lot more confidence than we did on the offensive end.
And turnovers played a role in that ball game. Lady Braves was 7 more than what Tabor had, and second chance points. Not a huge difference, but still a big enough gap that that you had to say that maybe plays a little bit of a role too.
Yeah, going into the game, we wanted to limit, our empty possessions. We didn't do a great job in the first half. We had 12, I think, there in the first half, 7 in the second half. So got a little bit more opportunities there. I didn't think we were aggressive enough offensively when it came to get to the free throw line. We wanted to do that. We wanted to keep them off the free throw line. Second half, we did a better job of that, 12 to 15. But, the offensive part of it, we got great looks, but I think they were so surprised that at times that they were open that we shot the ball uncharacteristically, very quick. We weren't getting set. It was like it was rushed, and that just turned into missed shots. And then Tabor just turned them into made shots. They really did. So we got down there fairly early. I thought we competed a little better in the second half, but just not good enough to close the gap. And we were able to get some of those younger kids in the game too as well.
So it sounds like to me that maybe there was a little bit of a mental aspect of that game last night, that a young team just maybe wasn't ready for, and that is part of the learning curve.
That's been my motto all year, was preparation. So kind of how I like to break it down is in the book of Bruce is the power of twos. So it takes us 2 minutes to teach a new skill or whatever it may be. It takes 2 weeks for them to actually work on it, to learn it, but it takes 2 months to turn that into a habit when it comes to basketball. So we're kind of behind the 8 ball in that, because in the summer, I don't think we consistently worked on certain skills that we needed to for 2 months. In the fall, we struggled with that too as well. Over Christmas break, struggled with that as well. At this time of the year, if that preparation hasn't happened, you're going to hit a wall, because second time around in conference, teams are going to take away your strengths. So how do you counteract that with preparation and being able to score in multiple ways? And that's what you're seeing right now with our offensive struggles.
And a lot of that is watching film and taking a look back at your opponent the first go around and trying to find a tendency here or there.
Yeah, absolutely. We do that really well. Our preparation from a coaching staff standpoint, we're more than prepared than what we give them, type thing. You don't want to overload them, definitely with the young team. But for those freshmen, this is their first time through, this kind of process. And I had a really good discussion with them in the film room today. I'm like, hey, you guys just need to get more reps at this, But our returners and our juniors, it's go time at this time of the year. So when you're shot with that adversity, it always comes back to your training. You're either prepared or you're not.
And that's kind of a tough lesson to learn. It's because there's probably not a lot of that going on in the high school game.
No, not at all. Because they're just not challenged as much as they are in college. Definitely with the scouting part of it, and then even competition within the team. The kind of the kids you come with in high school, you usually grow up and you kind of go through that same process. At the collegiate level, team changes every single year, so your role changes. So when your role changes, you're not doing the same thing that you did the year before. It kind of feels weird for you. So, or if they start taking away your strengths and be like, oh crap, I can't do that anymore. Yeah, you got to do something else. So it's definitely a learning curve and a learning process that collegiate athletes just have to be willing to accept and accept the challenge and try to move forward.
We're going to take our final break of the evening here. When we come back, we'll talk about tomorrow night's matchup as Sterling will come to town. The ladies, they need to find some momentum here. They lost earlier in the year in December, and as we talked last week, really it's kind of a playoff feel right now. Ladies still sitting in 8th place, but need to get some positive vibes going their way here as we get into the tail stretch of the conference season. But we'll talk more about that when we come back. You're listening to the Pizza Time Hoop Talk Show on 1220 103.7 FM, KOFO, and KOFO.com.
If being healthy is a resolution for you in the new year, See your doctor before exercise and diet plans are implemented. Ottawa Family Physicians advise if it's been a while since you last exercised and dieted or have conditions you're being treated for like asthma, diabetes, arthritis, or other concerns, it's best to consult with your family physician about the best plan for you. Start healthy in the new year. Schedule an appointment today at Ottawa Family Physicians. Call 242-1620.
2019 is going to be an exciting year, and Pizza Time has made a resolution to continue serving Ottawa as we have since 1985. This is Arlie, and I encourage you to come in and see me at 208 South Main for our award-winning pizza and lunch buffet, open every day from 11 to 10 p.m. We are proud members of our hometown community in historic downtown Ottawa, or call 785-242-TIME to place a delivery order. Don't forget to add us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a wonderful new year, and thank you for choosing Pizza Time.
I came here to run cross country and it ended up being way different than I thought it was going to be. It's unlike anything I've ever been a part of to be on the team. Everyone is so completely different. There are people you never thought you'd be friends with, nothing like your outside friends, but somehow you all click to be the same and have the same interests, but yet completely different. Everyone's always there for you. It's not just about running. Friendships and families like they're your siblings when you're away from home. That's what it means to be a part of the Braves cross country and track team, to be a family.
Be a Brave. Visit ottawa.edu.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hurry in for the Ace 20% off bag sale. Ace Rewards members get 20% off almost anything that fits inside the bag. Not an Ace Rewards member? Sign up is free and easy. Find great deals throughout the store on great brands like Craftsman and Valspar Paint. Plus, stock up and save on everything you need to take care of your home. Don't miss the 20% off bag sale this Saturday and Sunday, only at Ace. Offer valid at participating stores only. Additional conditions and exclusions apply. See store for details.
Let's think about customization presented by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty Mutual customizes your auto insurance so you only pay for what you need. So why can't more things in life be customizable? Why can't I buy Neapolitan ice cream without strawberry? Can't I just have the chocolate and vanilla flavors I'm comfortable with? Do people even want a fruity ice cream flavor sandwiched right between the classics?
Go to libertymutual.com for a customized quote and you could save.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Coverage is underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Equal housing insurer.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Hurry in for the Ace 20% off bag sale. Ace Rewards members get 20% off almost anything that fits inside the bag. Not an Ace Rewards member? Sign up is free and easy. Find great deals throughout the store on great brands like Craftsman and Valspar Paint. Plus, stock up and save on everything you need to take care of your home. Don't miss the 20% off bag sale this Saturday and Sunday, only at Ace. Offer valid at participating stores only. Additional conditions and exclusions apply. See store for details.
Indeed knows finding the right hire takes time away from your business.
Hiring a qualified data engineer felt like a second job.
More job seekers use Indeed than any other site, so there's no better place to find someone with the skills you're looking for.
I needed someone with a master's in computer science and database experience.
Plus, Indeed screener questions help you find your shortlist fast.
Now I'm back to having just one job.
Get a $50 credit to give your first job posting premium placement at Indeed.com/credit. Terms, conditions, quality standards, and usage limits apply. Additional terms online.
It's the final part of the Pizza Time Hoop Talk show. This cliffhanger is coming to an end here this evening as we talk Lady Braves basketball with head coach Bruce Tate. We're sharing a story or two about the weekend ball game, and we brought it up a little bit earlier about the officiating, and we don't want to ever continue to talk about it, but unfortunately. It was one of those things that was just too noticeable.
Yeah, sometimes they just take the fun out of it, They really do. So, especially for the kids, because they get frustrated the most. And then, I try to keep my frustrations at even kill so that the girls aren't reacting to it as well. So, like one time they gave a warning to the bench because the bench said something. And I'm like, what did they say? Like, give me the exact person and what? Oh, they're just yelling calls from over there. Well, make a call, basically make a call. So
it's pretty bad when everybody else is doing your job for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I digress because that's one of the things they tell you in broadcasting. Don't go overly crazy about talking about the officiating, but there are just times where you have to break that fourth wall. And
you guys didn't do bad. You didn't do that.
We didn't do bad. I like that.
No, you didn't. I thought it was pretty even kill.
We do what we can.
You made your point, you moved on. You made your point, you moved on.
And big game coming up tomorrow night. And boy, we talked a lot about this last week. With the stretch of games, and you played a ranked team last night. You're going to play a ranked team tomorrow night, and then in 6 days, or actually 7 days from today, you've got a team receiving votes who may be in the top 25 at that point in time. And then you have Bethel, and it just is not getting any easier right now.
It is not getting any easier. So if you look back at this stretch the first time, we were playing some decent basketball. We knocked off Bethany, got a little confidence, played well against Tabor, didn't play so well against Sterling, played well against K-Dub, beat Bethel. So we've got to get going. Sterling coming to our place, not playing their best basketball right now. They got some injuries and some things that's going on with that team, and but they're going to be well prepared, well coached, and they know that they have to come in here and play well to get a win.
You talk about the injury bug hitting Sterling, and really kind of at a bad time as we're getting down the stretch here. It is a prime opportunity for the ladies to maybe sneak up and take one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the injured players are still going to play, but they're just not at 100%. We've got hit with a couple injuries too as well, and Emily went down in the Tabor game, and first we thought it was an ACL and just bone bruise and some knee issues there. So hopefully we'll have her back in a week or so. So that's a big loss from our rotation. Just that being at that point guard spot, Kelsey's going to have to play at least 5 more minutes and have the biggest defensive assignment of her probably career. And then Jennifer Anthony is going to have to swing back over and play a little point guard too as well.
Well, one thing from Saturday, you talk about players off the bench. You guys went deep into your bench last Saturday, and I thought that the players coming off played really well. As a matter of fact, I think the bench scoring was incredible for you guys. So you know that you can maybe go a little bit deeper and maybe take advantage of, even though that they're still going to play some of these injured players for Sterling. Why not maybe take it to them?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been playing that way, all year, going deep into the bench. Jennifer Anthony and Maddie McElvoy and Meng too there in that Bethany game, scoring in double digits. Maddie just had a sophomore struggle. She's very capable of scoring, making big shots, making free throws. And then Jennifer Anthony's just a spark plug. Sometimes that plug comes unplugged, and you try to plug it right back in real quick because you never know what's going to happen. So that's my little speed demon. I call her Speedy, and it's great to have her playing well. She's going to do some great things, but she'll do those 1 or 2 things that just will leave you scratching your head. But she's a young kid, plays with a lot of energy, and she means well. She's one player that comes and gets feedback after every single game, and you don't get those kids that love to do that.
What is one thing that's going to be different about this matchup tomorrow night from the December 1st matchup?
Well, from our standpoint, transition defense is our number one key. We want to control tempo. We definitely want to slow them down and get them to work deep in their shot clock so they're forcing shots out of rhythm instead of taking shots in rhythm. Offensively, we just want to execute a little bit better. We didn't move the ball well. We didn't take great shots that turned into transition points for them. We want to go deeper in the shot clock and be a little bit more aggressive and get to the free throw line. So I think the key thing is to contain calmly, but we can't have those other 4 kids going for big games. And if we can eliminate at least 1 or 2 of their scores and get them uncomfortable, I like our chances, in Wilson Fieldhouse.
Well, it would be it's nice to have them. This one at Wilson Fieldhouse, I think it's kind of an equalizer in some instances.
Yeah, absolutely. And one, we can leave it all out on the floor. That's going to be something that I talk about because we're going into our bye week, and we take off Saturday. So that's going to be a huge advantage coming out of this stretch. I can't remember the count of games in a short amount of time, but Casey reminded me, during that stretch. So we took off Tuesday, just got a shooting workout, weight room workout, so they'll be a little sore. They were a little sore today from that. decent practices today, and let's battle tomorrow, and then, let's see what this weekend off will do for us for sure.
I got to imagine, and it's probably the same for the guys as it is for the ladies, they are looking forward to having this break.
Yeah, absolutely. I guarantee it. So the KCAC on both sides have just been the dogfight. I mean, it really has. So, the top teams can come in and play really well, but the middle of the road teams is going to be super competitive, and the teams that are at the bottom, as the men found out, if you're not on top of your A game and doing the little things, you can let one slip through your fingers, and that makes it fun. That makes it fun for the fans and for the players, but a little nerve-wracking too at the same time.
Well, I think that is something about this conference, and I mean, I can't say for others, but every week is interesting. Every game is interesting. You get to the conference tournament, it's interesting. You know that it just isn't a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, absolutely, and that does make it really fun. So that allows, from a recruiting standpoint, to say, hey, you're not going to be able to take nights off here, so you really got to prepare yourself for that, and that brings out more people. The men has done a great job of electrifying Wilson Fieldhouse, and we got a young team that's fun to watch, but hopefully we can get back, to playing that top four type of basketball, so we can be rocking for a total of 4 hours in there, and that always makes it fun.
One thing I've got to say, and of course the ladies right now sitting as the 8th seed, knowing what the media and the coaches had set out for this team at the beginning of the year, and obviously what did the media know? I mean, let's be honest, but it seems like that this team is going to beat expectations, and that's got to be a huge confidence boost for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every player should take it personally when they get picked that low. Definitely just with the tradition and the program that we've had, over the 20 years I've been here, we traditionally has finished in that top 4 or 5, and the loser players that we did, of course, having some unknowns with Mariah and Jordan and Liz and the juniors being in a different role, we made some noise last year, and we were in every single ball game and losing a lot of close ones, but you lose a second team all conference player and one of your best defensive players. Hey, you guys have nothing, and that's that was it. And a lot of people were outside of us were pretty upset about that, but I'm like, hey, it's a preseason poll. We still have to play the games regardless, and we'll see what happens.
Well, and really it comes down to you can take that and sulk about it, or take that as a tool to build upon, and that's what one thing that I've really liked about this team is instead of being upset about it in a negative way, they've turned it into a positive.
Yeah, I mean, at this time of the year, sometimes you don't want to accept, kind of who you are and where you're at, but you got to face the reality that, hey, we're going to struggle offensively. We're struggling defensively right now, but it's always a challenge to go out there and find ways to win, and that shows a lot of heart. It shows a lot of pride, and honestly, I'm trying to build that as much as possible because this core is returning, and now we just got to add a few more pieces to it to take it, back to that top 4 level.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us tonight. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you on Thursday. And I want to say thanks to head coach Aaron Siebenthal for joining us. Don't forget, 6 and 8 tomorrow night, the times for the games. Ladies first at 6, the men at 8. Casey Weeder will take to the air at 5:45.
Information and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS.